don't know if I really love this decision.
Over the middle, got his man, and look at him go! Jalen Waddle for the touchdown!
Welcome to Inside Leverage, your gateway to the fascinating realm of the Miami Dolphins. Join us as we delve deep into the team's dynamic Super Bowl journey. We invite you to share your most scorching takes, unwind, and relish in our captivating experience.
Blocked by Armstead. Going, he's got him! He's got him! Tyreek Hill! And the Dolphins have come back!
A big play on the first one! Home run! Play one! To the house! What a start for the Dolphins!
It's Inside Leverage. We always gonna put on a show, baby. That's what we do.
Go ahead and introduce yourself to everyone. Let them know, where you are, who you are, where they can find your work.
Yeah, so
and
I'm Real Mommy on everything. Diehard Eagles fan, Philadelphia sports fan altogether. I'm on Twitch. I'm on YouTube. I also write about, do a little bit of freelance writing as well.
Awesome. Appreciate you giving us your time. We're really excited about this game. As you can see for us, there's a narrative going around already that this is the biggest game of Tua's life, and we haven't had much success against winning teams and primetime moments. We've struggled. So what are your thoughts going into this week's matchup versus the Dolphins?
See, even as an Eagles fan, I don't even like putting all that extra pressure on Tua because every week should just be seen as just that, the next game. And I think that Tua is very capable of rising to this occasion. I love everything about this matchup, Philly versus Miami, two, Alabama guys, two of the most powerful offenses in the NFL, two teams that are actually very similar. And I think Miami's a really good team. I think that people are a little bit too hard on them. I think that they can pretty much do anything. They can pass the ball well. They can run the ball well. The only issue is really a little bit of iffiness in the secondary, but they can even rush the passer. So they're capable.
My question is, thank you again for joining us. I've heard some Eagles fans saying that the offense, everybody came back, y'all lost pieces, brung in you guys to the draft for the defense. So it's like the ranking is showing that it's not as the same as that. Do you think it's the DC or is just the guys taking time to not gel or injuries or just a mixture of everything?
I think last year Philly was really lucky with injuries. This year they're not as lucky, but guys, there are better news about the injuries that we've heard. But I would say as far as the offense, they're actually scoring similar points per game. They scored 26 last year. They're scoring about the same this year. The only difference is they're not really converting in the red zone. I just think that they're trying to get adjusted to two different coordinators. But over the last 2 weeks, the Eagles defense has stepped it up, has been much better defending the pass, and the sacks have picked up dramatically. They're also pretty good at forcing turnovers. So I think it's just two coordinators gelling.
So with I know there were some injuries that you guys have been dealing with Slay, Jay, and Lane Johnson. Is there any news in regards to any updates in that, or are you guys going to be waiting for tomorrow for those?
So we're still waiting initially, but Darius Slay and Jalen Carter should be back for the Miami game. Lane Johnson doesn't have as severe of an ankle sprain as originally thought, and Lane's played through injuries. There's a good chance he's going to tape it up and play, but it'll probably be a game time decision. Reed Blankenship, the Eagles safety, did have a rib injury, but his x-rays were negative, so we're still waiting to see. Probably the walkthrough on Thursday. Friday is going to tell us a lot, but it looks much better than we thought.
Coach, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm good. Keith, thanks for joining us here at Inside Leverage. I have a quick question. As far as with the uncertainty of Lane Johnson being able to suit up and play, how does the backup stack up? His backup stack up to be able to protect Hurts' blindside?
Well, the problem with Driscoll is he was kind of thrown in mid-game against a very tough Jets D-line, so it probably would have been hard for any player to pick up. I imagine with a week of practice and maybe some schemes where they help protect, which we saw a little bit of late in the game, he'll probably be a bit better. But there's also the kid Tyler Steen, who has a possibility to get some reps, but it does sound like Lane Johnson's going to do everything he can to play.
So there's been a lot of talk about what the Eagles haven't been doing well and them not being as good as last year. What are some things that you guys have been striving in this year? What are some of the strengths of the team? I know you guys have some exciting rookies that you guys are excited about, and it seems like A.J. Brown the last few weeks has really picked it up. But what would you point to as some of the areas of strength and maybe even surprise areas that you didn't expect to be as strong as they were, or players in general?
I would say for me, I mean, I'm not super surprised, but I am impressed that they were losing guys like Hargrave in free agency and still able to get that great sack production. Guys like Jalen Carter really stepping up. But what I love the most is the Eagles linebackers. It was probably the most critiqued position group that we had. You know, they lost TJ Edwards to Chicago in free agency. Then you get guys like Zach Cunningham and Nicholas Morrow completely stepping up. The linebackers are easily the biggest surprise for me. And that's why big part of why the run defense is so good for Philly, first in the league.
Wally
with a hand. I didn't see Wally. My bad. Wally, go ahead.
Man, appreciate your time. Quick question. I've been watching not too much of the Eagles, but I've watched Jalen Hurts for a minute now, and I say when people try to flush him out, make passes on the run, he's really adept to that. Like if you roll him out to the right, to the left, he doesn't lose arm strength, so it's not a big issue to me. But for what I've seen is when you blitz him, when you make him climb the ladder or go back on, basically instead of climbing the ladder with the opposite, he's not so accurate. And that's when he tends to make mistakes with what the Jets are doing, penetrating from the middle. Is that something you see that could be detrimental to Jalen Hurts, or that was just a one-case thing?
I think that his decision making in pressure situations is definitely something he needs to work on. When he was blitzed, he was actually one of the better quarterbacks in the league last year. So I think it's just a matter of play calling really helping him out. I had a serious issue with them dropping him back to pass 45 times with the starting right tackle out. So that was part of what made him feel extra pressure. But he has to make better decisions. But I could also as much say that a couple of those interceptions were, deflections, not all his fault, or receivers not running the right route. So it's a combination of all things. They're definitely sloppier than last year offensively, but they need to they're going to clean it up, I think.
Go ahead, Spence Mechanic, and then we'll go ahead and open up the panel.
Hey, how you doing, guys? Thank you so much for being here. You don't have to really give us a score prediction. Just kind of want to know what your thoughts as how close of a game it will be, or you think that you guys can probably dominate. You guys have the advantage. You guys are home. What are your thoughts as far as how what the game could look like Sunday night?
Now, where I like Philly at home, I see no scenario where the game's dominant. I just don't. I think Miami just has too much firepower. Philly and Miami just have an absurdly good amount of weapons where this game could be a shootout, 35-31. It could be something in that ballpark. I think that what I like about Philly in this particular matchup is I do like what they have going on up front with the D-line, with Jalen Carter coming back. And I do like that Philly does tend to force more takeaways than Miami. That could be an advantage. And Philly surprisingly has given the ball away. They've both actually given the ball away a similar amount of times, but takeaways and the D-line is what I'm high about. But I will say that if we get that same production from Driscoll, we may not have a great offensive showing if Lane Johnson doesn't play.
So the Eagles win if, the Dolphins win if, in your opinion?
So Philadelphia wins if, Lane Johnson does play, and Jalen Hurts will pretty much have time to do what he wants, but they'd have to get a key stop late. Miami wins if Philly's offensive line does not keep the rhythm that it did in previous weeks, because those D linemen for Miami, third in the league in sacks, can definitely get to Jalen and frustrate him.
Hey, Key, appreciate it. Definitely want to thank you for coming through, giving us your great insight, your time today. Again, do you have time for a few more questions?
Absolutely.
Cool. So what are your overall thoughts on the running game this year? We know that you guys had Miles Sanders, who finally had a good season in a lot of Eagles fans' mind last year, and he kind of priced himself out, and you guys went ahead and picked up DeAndre Swift. And you also have the kid from what's that? Excuse me?
Penny?
What's the name? No, Penny. I haven't seen Penny play much. What's going on with Gainwell? Referring to Kenneth Gainwell, yes.
They've kept Penny on ice. I imagine with his injury history, they probably want to have him more available for the second half of the season. But they've been getting solid production out of Kenny Gainwell, but mainly by DeAndre Swift. DeAndre Swift in most of his games has averaged 5.5 yards a carry. But behind this line, and not to minimize Swift, they've just always had a power running game under Nick Sirianni.
You guys have outrushed your opponents by like 100 yards a game, right? Like something crazy like that. What are your thoughts on Miami's run game on the opposite side? Do you expect to see more of the same this week as
Man,
far as being able to
it's one of the best
direct?
running back rooms in the league. I have a soft spot for Raheem Mostert because he was shortly in Philly, and I thought he had so much potential, and it's actually really cool to see him showing out for them. But I think the biggest matchup is going to be just that. It's going to be Miami's rushing attack against Philadelphia's number one rushing defense. So I think that's going to be the most intriguing matchup. But I think that this is it's probably I mean, Philly, Miami, San Fran probably have the best rushing attacks in the league, but I think it's going to be a great challenge.
Yes, I do have a question in regards to your receiving core. We all know AJ Brown is physical, the guy right now. Devonta Smith, that's been my guy. Um, He was actually the guy preferred, believe it or not, against Jalen Waddle. But no complaints with Waddle. I love him. I'm glad they're not listening to my thoughts about who should we get. But seems like Devonta Smith is having a little bit of a slow year. And what do you think about your twos and threes receiving core aside from AJ Brown?
I mean, as far as Devontae Smith, I think that he's going to pick it up. I do like Zacchaeus from Atlanta that's been on Philly this year. He's been a great blocker. He's actually gotten pretty good separation. Unfortunately, I had high expectations for Quez Watkins, but he's been injured this year, unfortunately. But he's had like unfortunate drops, missed timing on routes. It's just been a bit frustrating. But I do like Zacchaeus as a third option, and I think that it's a great group overall. And Devontae is going to have his days. There, last year was pretty much a story of 1 week it was Devontae, 1 week it was AJ, some weeks it was both. Against Washington, it was both. So that could be very possible against this Miami secondary.
So, wanted to ask you, what are your confidence levels on the safeties going into this game? I know Chauncey Gardner-Johnson was a huge addition for you guys and a big piece of the run last year. What are your thoughts on what's going on back there in the secondary overall, and what's your confidence level going up against this dynamic duo and Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle?
It makes me very nervous. When we've faced pretty good receivers this year, we've had a tougher time for the most part. I mean, I think they did a good job. They did a good job against Wilson on Sunday, but guys like Terry McLaurin have given them a hard time. Mike Evans gave them a little bit of a trouble. Same with Justin Jefferson. So I mean, these guys are going to get their yards. It just is what it is. But if Reed Blankenship cannot go for Philly, that's going to be a serious problem. Definitely a level of worry. But it really just attributes to the pass rush. They just got to get pressure on Tua, or they're not going to win that game.
So, outside of Hassan Reddick, what has the pass rush been like? I'm pretty used to seeing you guys at the top of the rankings, and I was kind of looking for you. I don't really know what's going on. I seen Hassan Reddick get to the quarterback last week, but who's your best pass rushers, and what's the pass rush been like overall? What's your grade on the pass rush so far this season?
I checked, but the Eagles, I believe, are fourth in the league in sacks right now. So the last 2 or 3 weeks, they've really picked it up. And Hassan Reddick, actually, the only reason he really had a slow start is because he was dealing with that surgery he had this offseason. He got the glove removed, and now he's back to himself. But the real story of the Eagles' pass rush has been the rookie, Jalen Carter. He's been an absolute force in the backfield. Even the defensive tackle, Jordan Davis, not even considered technically. The DTs aren't always as big sack guys, but he's just been a presence. But it's been all about Jalen Carter, early defensive rookie of the year candidate. It's been a really good unit.
And what are your thoughts on Dallas Goedert this season? He's probably, I would say, one of the better tight ends in this league, but based on what I'm hearing, it seems like he's been having some struggles. Could you speak on that a little bit?
Really slow start for Dallas. He had a great breakout game against the Rams 3 weeks ago, and he was just really involved in the pass game. He's kind of been in a blocking capacity, and he's getting open. I just think it's a matter of Jalen picking other weapons and not seeing them, but he's been there. He's going to have his games, but there's only so much ball to go around. But I do agree that he's one of the best tight ends in the league when healthy.
Quick question: how are your DBs right now? Like, I know Slay's a little bit banged up, and I could only go out like the last real game I really saw. I don't really trust your DBs, but it is what it is. You guys do have a good defense, and your front 7-12 is disgusting. But how are your DBs holding on and staying like consistent and staying true to the keys, given all this motion that we run?
So one thing I did like about our DBs, if you look at the Rams game, I thought that Bradbury, Slay, and Roby, I thought they did a really good job containing the Rams wide receivers, especially Cooper Kupp in the second half. It was like a completely different game plan. I think that they are capable of minimizing damage, but they're definitely not perfect. The biggest concern for Philly is obviously the slot corner position, and I know that they've been rotating Roby in and out, who did a good job against the Rams, but Roby unfortunately got injured against New York, so we're kind of waiting to see what's going to happen. So if they have to send someone else out there at slot corner, that could definitely be an issue for the DBs this weekend.
Yeah, because I know Bradbury and Slay, they're dogs.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. But I mean, at the end, as good as these guys are, there's also Waddle and Hill. These aren't just your everyday receivers. I'm a firm believer that when it comes to DBs, they're going to get burned by the best guys. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, it's the nature of the beast.
Yep.
What has the defense struggled with the most this year?
I would definitely say pass rush, and I would say third down efficiency could be better. It's improved over the last couple of weeks. They've gotten their sack rate up on third down, but it was more so just playing yardage off and giving up big cushions, so 3rd and 10s are easily convertible for the other team. I would say that's mainly the issue. Safety play has also been the biggest issue. I think the front seven has mostly done a good job.
Interesting, very interesting. So, in your opinion, is this the same Eagles team from last year? Are you just as good, or what are your thoughts on that narrative? Because I'm hearing it a lot. Like, it's not the same Eagles team. So, what are your thoughts on that?
I think when you look at the 2022 Eagles, it was really hard to be as healthy as they were all season long for the most part, and they were very healthy. So the Eagles are obviously seeing that this year they're gonna, they're having injuries that they didn't have. I think when you look at talent and ceiling, they're capable of giving similar production. I don't think the defense will collectively be as good because last year they led the league in sacks by a historic rate, and it's very hard to duplicate that. But I think offensively, because they're scoring about the same points per game, offensively they're going to have that. They just need to start converting in the red zone. But it'll never be that team. But are they still a Super Bowl contender? 100%.
Should the tush push be outlawed?
I don't think so. I think that any team that executes it or practices it or has even a decent O-line can convert it. And we see plenty of times that it's not a perfect play. We even saw in Cowboys and Chargers last night. It's not an 100% shot. We saw the Giants not get it. It's very common that teams just haven't perfected it.
Reggie Bush right now disagree with you, but it's okay. I'm gonna let you rock. It's gonna be outlawed next year.
Reggie's entitled to his opinion, but I think that a lot of people want it outlawed because they either A can't run it or can't run it or B can't stop it.
They can't. It's. I promise you. I feel about that the same way people were talking about our emotions, saying that it's illegal. I think that it's gonna be one of those plays that you either gonna make it, they're gonna outlaw it because you can't stop it or you can't.
Right? Yeah. I think instead of complaining about Miami's motion, try to stop it. Try to do something about it. Yeah.
Exactly. I saw that. Listen, I saw the Giants game. I saw a couple games. They tried to do it. They couldn't do it.
Exactly. Yep.
The Giants lost, I believe, 2 offensive linemen on trying to do that.
They didn't practice it. Unfortunately, they just went out there and they didn't even practice it. But you should.
They think it's the offensive line. That man squats.
Yeah, Jalen can exactly.
Pounds.
Yep, exactly. Jalen can squat. A lot of that work is him too.
He's like a real running back out there. Like, stop playing with that man's legs.
Well, Key, again, I want to thank you for a great insight. It was wonderful. You're actually very, very well informed, and I appreciate your objective opinions on our offense, our team overall. It's refreshing to get some of that, and
I'm gonna go ahead and say, Chad, we've had some intelligent. The IQ levels of these ladies past. It's not impressive because I don't want to be condescending to their intelligence, but it's a breath of fresh air.
I appreciate that so much, and I want to say this to y'all. Y'all are dope. I would love so much to see a Hurts to a Super Bowl. That would be killer. I would love to see that.
Yeah, that'd be great. It'd be great if we can get a little preview of that this
Right.
Sunday. I think it's gonna be.
He said it last year. It should have been us. Maybe
Exactly.
we can have it this
So
year.
here's hoping, right?
Well, wish you guys much success this season outside of Sunday. I need that one. It's going to be a big game. Do you feel like the importance of this game, especially with you guys coming off of loss, like what do you feel like this game could mean for the Eagles?
I think this is the potential for a statement victory because Miami's just that good. So if they beat Miami, all the narratives will disappear because the Jets game was what it was. It's an upset and those things happen. But if they win this game, it's a statement win because Miami's considered one of the best teams for sure.
And I guess the same could be said for us.
It definitely goes both ways. If Miami beats Philly and Philly, they're undisputed number one in all power rankings to me.
Why are the Philly fans so obnoxious?
I think that sports fans in general are obnoxious, but if we do what we're doing here and everyone just sits down and talks, we'd be fine. But I think Philly's so obnoxious because, and this is just being immersed in those fans every day, we are constantly fighting to prove ourselves and we're constantly disrespected, our teams too. So it's more so we're always like fighting with everyone for respect, which is why we embrace the underdog role so much.
I can relate to that. There was a lot of that with the Tua bashing.
A lot of it. Yeah, I definitely saw that with Miami. Miami getting some of that backlash.
Oh yeah, it's for a good reason. There's been a lot of incompetence over the years. We've had some good times, some bad times, a lot of scandals, a lot of FBI investigations, tampering charges, if not yacht meetings that may or may not have happened, tampering and all that stuff. We've had bully gay, we've had all kind of things, man. We've had coaches doing illicit substances on camera, confessing their love to exotic dancers. We've had everything. Anything about, we've experienced it. We've dealt with it all. We've had some dark times, some great times, and it's great for us to be back here now and to be able to compete with a great team like the Eagles this
I'm really
week.
I'm really happy for y'all to have a good team like that. Y'all definitely deserve it.
Man, it's been rough. It's been rough. But we're here now, and it's great. And again, wish you guys much success this season. Do you want to make a prediction on the game? Do you do game predictions?
I don't usually give exact score predictions. I more so pick who I want to win. I pick Philly. I feel like if it was in Miami, I'd pick Miami, but I do think Philly gets the very close and heart attack inducing win at home. Probably something along the lines like 34-31. I do think it's going to be as high scoring as everyone thinks.
It's been a great interview, so I'm not going to ruin it a little toxic.
Here's the thing. Like, if people picked Miami, I would not be mad. This game is essentially a pick 'em. I don't think you are making a wrong decision picking either team. Honestly. It's a pick 'em.
That's real. It could go. It really could go either way.
Either way.
The fan in me really wants this one. I know because there's just a lot of talk, man, about us not being able to win these kind of games. So I would love to be able to do that now. But if not now, we will have other opportunities to do it in the grand scheme of things. It's still a regular season game. I think for most of us, we want to see them match Philadelphia's level of physicality and grit and show up and really fight to the end. And if it's a heartbreaking loss in the end, I think we might be able to live with it. But all in all, I think we really want to win this game.
I totally understand it. Like I said, it would mean a lot for what they would say about Miami.
There's a lot of narratives. These media and these fans, they're ready to push different narratives and agendas.
They push what they want to push. There was that narrative about Tua not being able to stay healthy. Knock on wood, and he's obviously looked great through 6 weeks. So people push what they want to push at the end of the day.
How about that jiu-jitsu, huh? Like a ninja out there. Well, Keith, thank you for your time. I know you have probably a lot to do. I'm not kicking you out. If you have some more time, feel free to hang around.
I do have to run. I have to pick up my kids from school, but I really appreciate y'all, and I'm looking forward to talking ball with y'all on Twitter.
All right, well, good luck this week, and good luck to you guys for the rest of this season. You're definitely going to need it this Sunday. So
I hear you. Good luck to y'all, too.
Good luck. All right, have a great one. Thank you so much for your time. Everybody, follow.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.